Hey, this is my matchup notes and breakdown for my second and third match in the Capcom Pro Tour Online Australia 2021. My opponents were GoldieNextDoor and Pahnda, who both played Akuma against my Ed. Both of Ed's V-skills can deal with Akuma's air fireballs, but only V-skill 2 can be used on reaction to his ground fireballs, so I would recommend it in the matchup. Nearly all of Akuma's specials are very negative if they are blocked, so up close he can be punished. There are also a few places to look to punish Akuma with EXDP. This can be when he does a red fireball cancel up close, leaves a gap in his target combo, and when he uses forward heavy punch. Since all of these things can leave Akuma open and his specials are negative, Akuma players usually look for counter hits to confirm into. This is usually done by faking tick throws, using staggered pressure, and by pressuring with lows. Be careful up close, since one opening can give Akuma a lot of damage and pressure. Ed's Psycho Rising will nearly always trade with air fireball, but I think it's a good trade since if they don't air fireball, it's a straight up anti-air. And sometimes you may get lucky and go around it. However, Akuma can punish a lot of Ed's specials too. He can parry Ed's Psycho Knuckle for a full grounded punish, he can interrupt Psycho Spark before it can be cancelled, and from a distance, Psycho Shot can be punished too. These moves should be used sparingly in the matchup. Demon Flip can be very difficult to deal with, since it can be used to bait an opponent and close a lot of distance. Akuma can control the direction and the landing in many ways to bait his opponent's EX reversal while landing safely, especially against Ed. He can even do a late cancel into the punch follow-up to reduce his landing recovery. His anti-airs are amazing too. Regular DP is reliable, his back heavy punch is also good and leads to a combo follow-up, even his crouch heavy punch can work somewhat reliably. And against cross-ups, he can cross-cut his DP, and his back heavy punch has a ridiculously good hitbox to protect him, which will usually trade at worst. He can also change his jump arc from a regular jump in. He can dive kick, low air fireball, high air fireball, late air fireball, instant air EX fireball, late air EX fireball, demon flip palm, demon flip dive kick, demon flip slide, demon flip throw, demon flip air EX fireball, and forward heavy punch is also airborne for a little bit. His cross-ups are also very strong. His jumping median kick is pretty ambiguous, his demon flip can cross over, and a late air Tatsu can cross up. All of these options, plus the way he can bait responses, makes his air approach very scary. Nothing can be done to beat all of these options, so just making sure you space yourself so you can't be baited is the major thing to do. In V-Trigger 1, all of these things become stronger. He has 2 air fireballs, he can hide behind them, and his anti-airs become even more damaging. He only gets a few uses out of his V-Trigger 1, so making sure you don't let him open you up in these moments is very important. Overall, his versatility and range of options means that there isn't one thing to do to win this matchup. It comes down to shutting down his options as they are presented, and not giving openings to get free pressure at a close range. But this is easier said than done. A link to the full unedited matches will be in the description. This is game 3 of my set with GoldieNextDoor. The set score is 1-1. I find myself too close to react to the fireballs with my V-skill. Instead of trying to punish my heavy kick, they have been trying to bait a crush counter. At this large range, my V-skill won't work, so I need to close the distance. But I'm still just a little too close to react. This is smart by my opponent to not let me be in my own perfect range. I get hit cross up here trying to anti-air. If your opponent does too deep of a jump in, a light kick can be used to hit them before they land. I try to punish the red fireball to stop the pressure, but I don't have any EX bar yet. Luckily the shimmy wasn't far enough. I neutral jumped to punish a fireball, but my opponent was ready with the anti-air. I look for an activation to get some of my pressure back. Using crouch medium punch, I bait and punish the V-shift break. Ed's crouch medium punch recovers before V-shift break. It can recover before V-reversal. On counter hit, it combos into itself. And on normal hit, it combos into crouch light punch. All this make it a very safe pressure tool. A missed meaty puts me back in the corner. This time I have the meter to punish the red fireball. Medium kick is plus, and frame traps into crouch light punch into psycho flicker. I just need one light hit, but I get baited and he closes out the round, putting himself on set point. Unfortunately, this whole set I focused too much on the spacing of my normals to get many fireball punishes. A fireball attempt of my own almost makes me eat a full jump in combo. Again, instead of attempting to punish, they are fishing for crush counters on my heavy kick, which I am now well aware of. Some back and forth with fireballs is to try and to bait the opponent into jumping. But I get the bait first and land my anti-air. And a delayed back throw lets me block the only EXDP from Akuma in the set. I combo with crouch medium kick since I am nervous of the combo dropping. But comboing with crouch heavy punch gives a bit more damage. And starting the combo with psycho knuckle instead of a jump in can deal the most damage, I think. A difficult to read cross-up lands behind, and a good read leads to a V-reversal punish. V-reversaling early on the fireball cancel leads to a big punish. V-reversaling late on the fireball cancel leaves you only a little plus. V-reversaling the fireball hit will leave you very minus. And V-reversaling the uncancelled normal will leave you super minus. I only need one hit, but I have no resources, so I back up and look for an opening. Again, without meter I have to respect all of the pressure. A low jump with a fast fireball means I can't do the short V skill and have to charge it to get past them. But this is slower and I don't punish. Luckily my opponent didn't react and EXDP. I have a life lead and a bar, so now I'm waiting for my moment. I notice that the V trigger is almost out, so I know they will want to get pressure with it. So I V skill and then EXDP the missed punish, since the V skill is -6. This final round is set point for the both of us. I see he has full EX bar, so I don't want to get hit by critical art. I am waiting to get in and playing passively on defense. Another difficult to read jump in messes up my opponent's inputs and I get a small punish. He is now trying to fish for counter hits. I'm still very afraid of his EX bar, so I'm forcing him to come to me. A good block on the demon flip slide lets me get a back throw and have a commanding life lead. I mash out of the trade hit since medium kick is plus and is likely to have advantage in a trade. Previously they did not leave a gap in their target combo, and I don't want to let them get a pressure from a V-trigger activation, but they still get their activation. A final poke medium kick puts him in chip range. So I dash up, crouch medium kick into psycho flicker into critical art, which is a block string to chip them out. While in V-trigger, there was nothing he could have done. This is game 2 of my set with Pahnda. He had won game 1. He uses fireballs up much closer than I was expecting, so I walk into them a few times. Finally, I space myself well to punish one. A cheeky V skill prevents my pressure from starting, but a slow reaction and bad spacing on my V skill gets me punished. Not many people do this, but my opponent was very ready. My missed anti-air gives me time to react to the fireball and I can get a small punish. And throws on wake up had been effective, so I was using them more in this set. One more V skill will build V trigger bar so I can activate. Throws had been working and my opponent had plenty of health, so they were willing to take the throw. Likewise, taking a throw can reset the neutral position. A low and slow fireball almost baits out my reaction, but I think better of it and just block. Afraid of a raging demon and ignoring my previous thoughts about going for throws, I neutral jump and lose the round. Against Raging Demon, neutral jump isn't even the best option. A back jump with a cross-up button will give more damage, and prevent you from being anti-aired. But both of these will lose to an EXDP, so putting myself in that situation was dumb, and not listening to what I had previously thought about throws was also a lapse of judgment. It is now set point for my opponent. And I start out with a massive drop on my crush counter combo. I V-shift for safety, but greedily go for the V-shift break. This could have been disastrous if it was parried. It is important to check what normal they use if you want to V-shift break. A great whiff punish pushes me to the corner. A ton of pressure I have to block. And I'm slow and miss my one opportunity to safely EXDP out of there. And a well-positioned Demon Flip baits my EXDP. In the corner against Demon Flip, nearly all your anti-airs can be baited. Air-to-airs can work out sometimes more safely. If you are really ready, you can get a combo from jumping medium punch. And even if you whiff the air-to-air, you're at least now out of the corner. But I was stunned and I lose the round and the set. From my match against GoldieNextDoor, I think I had good awareness and spacing of my normals, and I didn't whiff moves in front of him that much. I used mostly optimal combos and capitalized on punish situations, but my pressure on offense was poor, with my bad spacing on V-skill, and my anti-airs were also lacking. Even though it was my second match of the tourney, it was my most close and competitive match that I feel both players made no big mistakes and adapted well to each other. From my match against Pahnda, excluding the final moments, my reactions to the situations were actually pretty good. I got greedy a lot and tried to make reads that were high risk, low reward when my opponent hadn't shown signs of changing their game plan. Also, my spacing was poor. I didn't adapt to my opponent and sat at an awkward range where I can't react to the fireballs and my normals weren't in range either. Pahnda is ridiculously good and came second in the tournament overall. I think to have a more competitive matches against him, I need to tighten up my gameplay and keep my game plan simpler. Thinking about crazy raging demons and parry situations really isn't necessary if you don't put yourself in those situations. My next match was up against ZG, playing Vega. I lost 1-2. It's not a very well played set by me since I didn't know the matchup well, so I didn't play that smart. If I have more high stakes tournament matches, or I have an especially good set, I will do a breakdown analysis of those in the future too. Hopefully I'll have some interesting videos coming up for you. But if you have feedback, I'd really appreciate it in the comments. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed.